Hi, this is Ms. Goodale. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about converting metric units using powers of 10. In your notes, I provided directions using a method that allows you to move decimal places. What you are basically doing when you move decimal places is you're multiplying or dividing by powers of 10. I'm going to talk in the video about just moving the decimal places because I think it'll make it simpler for you to remember, but just kind of refer back to what you previously have learned about with multiplying and dividing powers of 10. You can also use the method, the same method we talked about with customary units. This method that I'm going to describe, though, is going to probably be a lot easier. So with that said, I'm just going to give you a couple of examples. The first example, I'm going to just give you 50 hectometers, and I want to convert it to milliliters. Millimeters, let's see. So where I would start is either on the front of your notes sheet or on the back. I have provided the basic units and the prefixes that go with the measurements. What you would do first is you would look for your starting unit, which is hectometers. So I look at hecto here, and I want to go to millimeters. So millimeters is M-I-L-L-I, milli, and that's over here. So my next step is to just look at my number as kind of a whole number with an imaginary decimal point. If it already has a decimal point, then you can use that. So I go from hectometers or hectometers to millimeters. So I'm going this direction. I'm going to the right. I'm just going to count the amount of times that I have to move. So I have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means I move my decimal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All of these hop places, I just put zeros if there is nothing there. So that would be 5 with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros. And I put commas every 3. So that makes this 5 million. And then my label is millimeters. The abbreviation is MM. Okay. Just something to note on this, your base unit is going to be grams or G, meters is M, or liters, which is L. Notice on the liters, the L is capitalized. It's always going to be capitalized, but when you note the kiloliters, it's going to be lowercase k, capital L. Hectoliters is lowercase h, capital L. And also deca and deci. If you have decaliters, it's DA. So decagrams, decaliters, decameters, they all start with DA. The deci is just a plain D. So DG is decigrams, DM is decimeters, DL is deciliters. And those prefixes are lowercase. Okay, with that said, let's move on, and I'm going to give you some quick examples and let you try that out for yourself after you get done watching the video. So if I'm going from meters to centimeters, I'm just going to show the abbreviations now instead of writing out the words. So let me rewrite that. Meters is my base unit. Centi is over here. 1, 2. So I go 2, and I went to the right here, so I go to the right on this problem. And so then that means I would put a 0 there. The decimal place ends up after the 0, which makes that just 10. My label is centimeters. So I get 2/10 of a kilometer, 2 decimeters. That's just dm. So that's right here. Here's kilometers. Here's decimeters. I'm going to move to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I put 3 zeros after it. So it is 2,000 decimeters. We're going to go with kilometers again. Now let's not do kilometers. Let's do liters. 2 liters. 2 hectoliters. This is my base unit, is the L. My imaginary decimal is right there. So I go from my L to my kilo. 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to the left, so my decimal goes to the left. 1, 2, 3, put zeros here. My decimal place is going to go here, but I always put a 0 in front of my decimal place. So I have a 0, and then 2 additional zeros, and then a 2. And my label is HL. DAL, which is decaliter. 2 liters, which is L. Have my imaginary decimal here. DAL is right here. Liters is here. You go 1 to the right. That means I put an extra 0 there, which is 1,000. And my label is liters. Excuse me, I want to refer back to this. I went too many jumps. I went to kilo instead of hecto. So on this one, 1, 2, I should have only gone 1, 2 and ended up here. So I have an extra 0, which makes that 2 hectoliters. Okay, now let's go to the next example. 50 grams, 2 hectograms. So 50 has an imaginary decimal point after it. Grams is the basic unit. Hectograms is right here. So you start at grams, 1, 2, to the left, 1, 2. So you put a 0 before the decimal point, and it's 0.5 or 5/10 hectograms. You could also put 0.50, which is 50 hundredths hectograms. Either one, they both mean the same thing. Usually I take off my zeros after the decimal point because they're just placeholders. And let's do one last example before we go. I'm kind of trying to get ahead of myself too much and making some mistakes here. Let's do from grams to milligrams. So we have grams as my base unit, milligrams is over here. 1, 2, 3 to the right, 1, 2, 3, which makes that 240 milligrams. Okay, that's what I'm going to leave it at. Ask me questions if you still have some. I know I went through that pretty fast. I hope this helps, and refer to your